Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is the Voice of Jesus Ministries. My name is Rick, and I am so glad that you have taken time to join us. Now, we are in season 4, and it is titled Jesus, the Truth in Real Time. And we are going to be looking at episode 4 today. Now, if you have seen episode 1, 2, and 3, and you're still here, that is fantastic, because that means that your heart's been challenged and you're hanging on because you have a heart for Jesus and you really want to know and seek out the truth. Okay, so, we talked about the Bible and how the Bible is the single most important book to us here on planet Earth. And remember, Bible, a Greek word, means book. And that we use it dearly, and it is something that we love. And as I showed you in episodes 1, 2, and 3, I love the Bible. I have many of them, and they've been gifted to me, and I've had them for years and years and years. But the bottom line, living with Jesus in real time is not living with Jesus in a box. Is not living with Jesus in a book. It's living with Jesus in real time, experiencing Him every day in manifestations in your heart, in your mind, and every experience that you experience during the day, if you choose to. And there's the key, if you choose. Choice is from the first gift that Jesus gave us, and that's the gift of free will, free choice. So if you choose to experience Jesus, then you are going to be something very, very special. You are going to be His child. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about what it is to be a child of God here on planet Earth. And if you know you are a child of God here on planet Earth, this is the key, okay? Now, before we go any farther, I want to start out by saying this, that Jesus referred to us as His sheep. He referred to us as His. And one of the first places that I want to take you to today and show you is in John 17 and 10. And Jesus said this. He said, "All mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them." Now, that's the King James Version, and many people like the King James Version, but many people don't. So I'm just using it as a base reference, okay? You use the version that you like. You know that I like the intralinear, and many of you have your own personal versions. But for the point of this study, we'll just stick with the King James Version, and it's very similar in almost all versions. So in this version here, you see that he says, "and all mine." Okay, all mine, he says. "Father, all mine are yours, and all yours are mine, and I am glorified in them." Now, this word that is seriously important here, "and all mine." You wouldn't think that a simple little word as mine could make a difference in understanding something. But I want to take you there today because I want you to see how important that word is. In the Greek, this is the word right here. All right, this is the Strong's Concordance, this portion right up here. If I move this up just a little bit, you'll see it's Strong's definition, okay? And you can see that the Strong's on this, if you have a Strong's Concordance at home, you can find it under G 1699, and you can do this research yourself. But in the Strong's definition, it says this, that emos, that's the Greek word, emos, is translated my, of me, mine, own, or my. Now that's very simplistic. Let's look at it in the Greek the Thayer's Greek lexicon, which elaborates on it just a little bit more. And I want to do that today because this is really important, all right? Now look here. Emos, this is in the Thayer. Now you can choose a multitude of Greek lexicons, okay? I have maybe 10, 12, I don't know, 24 of them on my shelf behind here because I like drilling down on languages and words because I believe a simple word can leave so much out when it comes to cross languages, from the Greek to the English, from the English to the Russian. I mean, you got to understand there's a lot of differences, but emos, as it's presented to us in the Thayer Greek lexicon, it says this: that which I have, what I possess. So mine are those who he possesses, those which he has. All right, right off the bat. But let's go down. Let's go down and look at the next level. And this word emos means those, he said, all those, all mine, those that proceed from him. Okay? That's important. Do you realize that you've come from Jesus and we're going back to him? You didn't just randomly appear on planet Earth. You didn't just randomly, just like, poof, oh, here I am. No, child of God. And let me make this clear. I am speaking to the children of God. All right? You were selected before the foundations of this world. You proceeded from Jesus. From that little word, mine, where he says, all mine are thine. That mine is all have proceeded from me. But look at this. Let's continue. And there's a subcategory to that, and you can see it right here. It says, appointed for me. You see it right here? I just highlighted it. It says, appointed for me. That is amazing. It's from the same little word, mine. All mine are thine. All right, now he's saying that you are appointed for him. For who? Jesus. That's crazy, isn't it? And let's continue down looking at more of this right here. And it says right here, let me move it down a little bit slower. The last section says, it is mine, that we are his. Okay? The it in this case are you. You are his. Now, understand something, friends, that Jesus is really wanting us to understand here. Let me get this moved a little bit slower here. That when he used the word mine, all mine are thine, he's saying all which I have, all that I've possessed, all that proceed from me, all that relate to me or are pertaining to me, all who have been appointed for me, we are his. So you see a simple little word, all mine are thine. We proceeded from Jesus. We have been appointed for him. And we definitely pertain or we are relating to Jesus. Now let's go on here. I don't want this to be labor intensive, okay? Here is some of the most simple verses from John chapter 10 that Jesus spoke about. And in John chapter 10, beginning in verse 14, he said, I am the good shepherd and know my sheep and am known of mine. Now, in the interlinear, it says, I am the just shepherd and I know mine, and mine, they are knowing me. Okay? But the point I want to share with you here is that you see in this particular version, the King James Version, he says, I know my sheep. Now, what I want to share with you on that is that mine and mine, M-I-N-E, and my come from the same word right here, emos. And if we were to look at it, this is what we would find. we would find the exact same thing that we just reviewed right here. Okay? Let me slowly move it back down because my scrolling jumps around. All right? Right here. Mind that which I precise. I mean, it's the exact same thing as what we just looked at. Okay? And isn't that interesting? So, going back to where we were just at, where Jesus said, I am the good shepherd and know my sheep and am known of mine. He says, we are appointed by him. Now look at verse 27. He says, my sheep, those that are appointed by me, those that have been called by me, they hear my voice. And I know them, and they are following me. So the point of today is this. Do you realize that as a child of God, as this wonderful, wonderful child of God, look at right here once again, that when Jesus said, you are his sheep, he says, I know my sheep. He said, that which I have, those that I possess, those that have proceeded from me, those who are relating to me, those who are appointed for me by Father, because that's why he said, Father, all mine are thine, and all thine are mine. Isn't that amazing? One little word, and it can bring such incredible meaning to you, but it can only do it. It can only do it if you have a heart for Jesus, and he knows that. And then he gives you that second blessed gift. The first one being free will and free choice. The second one being the gift of the indwelling Holy Spirit. And with the gift of the indwelling Holy Spirit, he will guide you and lead you into all truth. And little things like this can explode into your life. So you can't get this out of just looking at a book. You know, you are required to do a little bit. One of the books that are added to the Bible, it is written, and this is in the book that was called Timothy. And it says, study to show yourself approved unto God, rightly dividing the word of truth. See, it's up to you to understand what's being said here. Not just take it for granted. Don't just take things for face value, because the world they just play on face value. Oh my gosh, here in the 21st century, you know, it seems like the biggest word in the 21st century is scam. And everywhere you turn, people are scamming. They're scamming on the internet. They're scamming on cell phones. They're scamming on social media. Why? Because people take things at face value. But now, let me give you some real-time Jesus. If this is happening to you or to people you know, it's because they are not living in real time with Jesus. When you live in real time with Jesus, he is there prompting you. Just like you today, you know, many people, they are getting so involved with AI because AI knows everything. AI is the future. Wow, we are exploding into AI, but you can't use AI unless you know how to prompt it. Well, let me share something with you. You can't live your life in real time with Jesus unless you know his prompt. Unless you know he's prompting you and calling you to see this, to understand this, but more importantly, to live a life in real time with him. You know, there's no greater AI than Jesus, our Messiah. Yeshua. No greater. I mean, without him, there would be no AI, there would be no internet, there would be no cell phones, there would be no computers. Father has produced all this through people, and it's all part of his plan. Don't think that everyone is out there doing this on their own. It's not the way it works. But at the end of the day, do you have real-time prompting with Jesus? Is he part of your life? And do you know that you are his? When he says, my sheep hear my voice, and another voice they will not follow. When he says, I know my sheep, and my sheep are knowing me. When he says, Father, all mine are yours, and all yours are mine. Are you getting that prompt? To know that there is way more to it, that you have proceeded from him. Look here, that you have proceeded from him, that you have been appointed for him. All out of a little word, mine. And you can only get that by and through the Holy Spirit. So I hope this helped a little bit today, because this is what season 4 is about. Learning to live with Jesus in real time, and learning that everything you may be doing today, using all the tools that are out here in the world, and they can be very interesting and very exciting, and make it look like, oh wow, this is incredible what it can do. But when you have Jesus prompting you, it's incredible what you can do and how your life can be. So I look forward to seeing you next time. Remember, take time to pray. Take time to spend time with your family. We're in what is known as the holiday seasons. But this is only a time when we get to spend more time with family and friends. And at that point, we can share what we learned. Allow the Holy Spirit to be a part of your life. And remember, the Holy Spirit is Jesus in real time. He said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. He will not leave us as orphans. He'll be with us, guiding and directing us. Look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, bye-bye.